Good evening and welcome to Weekdays with Wendy. I'm obviously not Wendy. I'm Dave Poteet. I'm one of the pastors on staff here at St. Luke's, and I'm sitting in for Wendy this evening. You know, since the start of this year, Wendy has been going through our flip calendar, the Love Your Neighbor No Exception flip calendar. It looks like this. And she's been taking some moments every evening to reflect on the quotes and the scriptures that are found in this calendar. We'd like you to have one of these calendars. If you haven't gotten one, you can come by the church, either downtown or the Edmond campus. We'll be happy to get one for you. If you can't come to the church, we'd be happy to also mail you one of these calendars if you'd like. Today's quote is from St. Augustine. Now, St. Augustine was one of the early church theologians and philosophers. He was born 1700 years ago, and he was also a bishop of an area in North Africa. And it is his writings that influenced early Christianity so much. They still influence Christianity today. The quote that is for today is from what is called the Confessions. The Confessions is a book that Augustine wrote that is autobiographical in nature, in which he talks about his early years, as he would say, his sinful years as a youth. And then he talks about his conversion to Christianity in the Confessions. There is a quote from the book that says, "You are good and all-powerful, caring for each one of us as though the only one in your care." Wow, that's an amazing thought. You know, we say that God's got the whole world in his hands, right? And that he loves everyone in the world equally, and he cares for each one of us equally. And yet Augustine seems to be saying that God cares for you, just you, in your moment of need, as if there was no one else. It's important, I think, to understand the context of this quote. And here is what it is. Before Augustine's conversion to Christianity, his mother, Monica, it is said, wept for his soul, and that God comforted Monica in a vision. And Augustine would write, he would say, how could this vision come to her unless God's ears were close to her heart? And Augustine would say of God, you are good and all-powerful, caring for each one of us as though the only one in your care. It's in this statement that Augustine seems to paint a vivid picture of God's overwhelming love. It's as if he is resting his ear on Monica's chest and listening to her heartbeat, her tears, her needs. In Monica's moment of need, everything and everyone else fades from God's view, and Monica becomes his only care and concern. That's hard to imagine, isn't it? Because God loves everyone in the world. How can he love just us? Many, many years later, an author would write a book in which she would take this quote and paraphrase it, saying that the Lord loves each of us as an only child. I don't know if you were an only child or not. Maybe you had siblings. Maybe you had many siblings. I remember growing up and I had two other siblings, an older brother, an older sister. And when I was very young, I remember wanting my mother's attention, her sole attention. And I would teasingly ask her, I would say, I'm your favorite child, right? And she would look at me and she would say, I love each one of you the same, but I love you very much. Well, that really wasn't very good for this young child. And one day, I remember a very special moment. Once again, I teasingly asked her, I said, Mom, I'm your favorite, right? And she looked at me very close to my eyes and she said, for this moment, you're my favorite. I've always remembered that and how special that was to believe that my mom was loving and caring just for me at that time. As we go through life, and there are difficult moments and challenges that we face, imagine God loving you as an only child. That's a wonderful, comforting thought, I believe. Knowing still that God loves everyone in the whole world and yet can focus and love you at the expense of everyone and everything else. I don't really understand this quote, but I believe it to be true that somehow God, in all of his mercy, can focus on us in our time of need. I hope that as you find yourself in difficult times, that you'll be able to believe and understand that even though God is loving everyone else in the world, that for your moment of need, at your moment of need and care, that God focuses on you as an only child and loves you and cares just for you and will attend to you as a parent. I hope you have a good evening. God bless you.